We are spending 8 hours of our valuable life. Of course, you want the benefits. Anything else? Qualification, what work we do, what is our title? Right location, yes. Security of the job, yes. So, satisfaction, yes. What will really satisfy us? So, yes. So, what we do is we want to know which company do I pick, right? And of course, as Prabhu said, we want to know what is expected of me. Am I going to be an analyst, a janitor? What is my position in there, right? And then, of course, package. Without the package, who would want to work? So, of all the companies in this world, right? You have fintech companies, you have utility companies, automotive, you name it, agro-based, pharma. Of all of them, you want to narrow down on based on your core competency. Tech companies, here are so many tech companies you can see in the middle picture. And of them, you want to see which role you get and which is the best company based on the fit, based on our satisfaction, based on different reasons that we want that specific company. Similarly, when you look at the Vedas, it's a huge body of knowledge. There are hundreds and thousands of verses, and it covers varied prospects of learning. And so the Vedas are compared to a forest. The forest has beautiful trees, you can see waterfalls, birds, rocks, mountains, hills, animals. And the essence of this forest is the flower, the beautiful flower. And so the Upanishads are compared to the flower. Upa means to be close, like Upavas, right? We go to Indian store, Upavas aisle. Upavasa, to stay very close, Vasa, to reside close to Hari, Hari Upavas. The day when you fast and you spend time staying close to Hari. Hari Vasaraha, Madhavatiti. So this Upanishad means Upa to stay close, Nishad to sit close to the spiritual master and hear a secret. Hear the essence of this beautiful forest, the essence of the Vedas. And there are so many Upanishads. Kena Upanishad, Kathopanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Kali Santarana Upanishad. 108 prominent ones. And in this human life, no time. If you have time, no taste. So Krishna gives us the essence of these Upanishads, like the most beautiful flowers strung together like a beautiful garland you can see on the beautiful neck of the deities. So this is Gita-Upanishad. What the Vedas are, which are the emanation of the breathing of Mahavishnu, has been summarized to give us exactly what we want through Gita-Upanishad, spoken directly by the Supreme Lord. Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padma Vinishritaha. Krishna has spoken this personally. So the other analogy here is of all the different animals, of course, the essence, the most beautiful is the cow, and the essence of the cow is this milk. So Krishna is compared to be the milkman. Sarvopanishad dogdavo dogda gopala nandanaha. Krishna is milking the essence of the Upanishads. And partho vatsaha. Arjuna is the calf. But as Krishna is milking this for Arjuna, all of the devotees who hear about this Bhagavad Gita, Sudhir Bhuktaha, the one with refined intelligence, they sever the most beautiful essence, which is milk. So, yes, of all the Vedas, we saw the Upanishads, and of all the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, just like you want to pick which book that we want to learn the essence from. So now we know, okay, we want this specific company that we have narrowed down on. And then first thing, we want to make sure that the company is legit. I remember when I was looking for an internship after my first semester at university, a person approached me in the campus and he said, yes, I have a good job prospect. I said, okay, let me know I'm interested. And he took me far to a place. I went to the basement of this house. In fact, it was Farmington Hills. From Ann Arbor, I came to Farmington Hills. And then when I went down, the people were chanting some mantras. And then very soon I realized it was a pyramid scheme. They gave me a set of shampoos to sell and then make a network. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. So when you look for what you want to spend your time in, you want to know it's bona fide. And Krishna here very simplistically says that it has to come in a disciplic line of succession. Evam parampara praptim, imam rajasya vidhu. And the person who's giving it, he has to be a devotee of the Lord. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Here, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna because Arjuna is a devotee. A devotee understands the heart of the Lord and can actually give the message as it is, as heard by his spiritual master. So we are very fortunate to have the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And the last thing here we want is, what is my job profile in this company, right? In this place that I choose. So I pick up the Bhagavad Gita, and now what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to memorize all these verses? Is that the essence of what I want? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes, he actually meets a Brahmin in the Srirangam temple, an illiterate person who is reading the Bhagavad Gita, trying to read the Bhagavad Gita, but he's crying incessantly. His friends are making fun of him. And Mahaprabhu comes to him and asks him, why, oh my dear Brahman, why are you crying? He said, my Guru gave me a very lofty instruction to read the Bhagavad Gita, but I'm illiterate. So Mahaprabhu asked him, why are you crying? But he said, I'm trying to fulfill the instructions. But when I come and see this beautiful picture of Krishna being the charioteer of Arjuna, the Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, then I can do nothing but just cry because of how much mercy that Krishna has. And Mahaprabhu embraces him and tells him, you have understood the essence of the Gita. Many times we might be PhDs, right? We can be a PhD in our mind, but a kindergarten in our heart. When life kicks us, then who we are from our heart is what we react to that situation with. So the essence is to realize the Gita in the spirit of devotion, while here I have pictures of Ravana, a picture of Hiranyakashipu, great scholars. They knew much more than us in terms of what we can ever learn in Shastras in this life. But Krishna says, Anasuyave, one, if he is envious of the Lord, will not understand the essence. So the essence is to be a devotee. The essence is to understand the Bhagavad Gita in the mood of serving this. This is Sri Krishna. In the mood of serving the Gita, as the servant of the Gita, one can understand the essence. So coming to the benefits, of course, on the benefits. So a person finished the interview and then asked HR person, okay, I think everything is cleared. And the HR person asked, so what do you expect? He said 220K. HR said, what about 240K, 20% of the company shares, 20% benefits, company-driven car? He said, are you serious? And HR said, and he's asked, are you joking? HR said, you first started the joke. So of course we want to know, what do we get out of this? And in interest of time, I'll go quickly for the next few slides and get to the topic of glorifying Lord Shiva. The ultimate goal of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is to go back to your real home of unending bliss. Gita Shastram idam punyam. Gita Shastram, it is punyam, it is extremely purifying. Ya pathet prayata puman. If we try even a little bit to understand, to serve the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnur padam avapnoti bhaya shoka divarjitaha. Getting rid of bhaya, shoka, lamentation, hankering, one can get the ultimate destination. And of course, here you can see the beautiful sun rays, as you can see outside today as well. When the sun acts on urine and water, it acts indifferently. When the urine is also acted upon by the sun, then it completely evaporates. The place gets purified, but the sun does not get contaminated. So whether our hearts are like that urine, contaminated by lust, anger, greed, pride, illusion, or if it is pure, it does not matter. The sun of the Bhagavad Gita acts equally, and it purifies the heart. And before you know, just like the urine has evaporated, the anarthas in the heart also disappear, but it never touches the Bhagavad Gita. I presented this a couple of years back at the onset of COVID. Very beautiful analogy though. We saw this beautiful family, and if you come in touch with COVID, we make sure that we wash our hands so that we remain uninfected despite being in contact with COVID. Similarly, when we have to go out to this world and we have to deal with the three modes, we have to deal with people who are frustrated. We have to deal with people who are not spiritual, whose consciousness are not ideal. But sometimes we have to do that because that's what we have to do to make our ends meet. At that point, if we get impacted, affected by their consciousness and develop those desires, act on those desires, get reactions from those actions, then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janari jagadesayanam. So what do? We take bath every day, hopefully, to keep our body clean. Similarly, we have to take bath. Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine. Every day we take bath in water and soap. Sakrat Gita Amrita Snanam. Even one time if we take bath in this beautiful Gita Amrita Snanam, Samsara Mala Nashanam, the Mala, the contamination, the disease of the mind. If you think about it, any problem that you have is mainly the problem of the mind. Bodily problems, yes, we do, but most of the problems that we have originate from the mind. So, of course, Bhagavad Gita helps clean the mind and fixate the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. And of course, to understand the essence of a rich culture, answers to scientific questions posed by children. I remember Yugal Kishore Prabhu, very early days, he mentioned this, that when he asked the child, what would you do if you were given a chance? The child said, I will lock my brother in the trunk of my car and take all of his toys. And so Prabhu, under his guidance, the Sunday school was started. So Prabhu was saying, if that is what we see today, what about in the next 30 years, 20 years, what do we expect? And the children now, if they have to take this up, like we accepted what our parents said, they ask us scientific questions. And if we don't have answers to rationalize what we do, then there's a very low chance of them also imbibing the footsteps of what we imbibed. So again, deepen devotion to the deities. Fix your astrologic charts. And again, from the perspective of understanding that when there is a pouring rain, then we know we have Krishna by our side. Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam edana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyaham. I will protect you. I will preserve what you have and provide what you lack. So this chart of many Indians, especially, we go to the astrologers and find out, okay, what planet is in what house, what's going to happen, how do I alleviate this, how do I atone? There is a great devotee who describes Dvadasha Chandra Kritasthala Mangala Buddha Viruddha Siruguru Banka Yati Dashama Bhavan Me Nanda Suto Nanda Ketu Janamaka Anka Ashtama Rahu Chaturtha Dubamani. All of the planetary systems, they're all skewed. Tobi Harivanchata Karatana Sanka. This Harivansh said, I do not care, it does not matter. Jo Krishna Charana Mana Arpita. One whose mind has been situated in the lotus feet of Krishna. Usaka ko kaha navagraha ranka. What can happen? The worst case, some calamity might befall me in this life, but at the end of this life, those navagrahas with folded palms, let us step on their head and enter into the chariot of Vaikuntha and go back. Rather, if I had all of it perfectly aligned and a perfect life, end of this life, the same planets will pay their obeisances and take us to the womb of another mother. So, of course, we have Krishna by our side, and Krishna always is our dearmost well-wisher. Krishna, it's said that what Krishna loves us in 1 second is more than what all the people around us who love us can love us our whole life. And when devotees go through calamities also, and we know how Nain Sundari Mataji, a very, very dear devotee and a friend of all of us, is going through this. Krishna is always with the devotee. Tattenu kampam susumikshamano. It said, Tattenu kampam. Tat, when that problem happens in the life of a devotee. Te Krishna. What does Krishna do? Anukampan. Anukampan is actually a very deep word. Anukampa means mercy, right? We know mercy, daya, karuna. But this word kampan, like romancha kampan, means to shiver. When the devotee is actually shivering, going through pains, then Krishna is also shivering before it happens, during it's happening, and even after it happens. So when a devotee knows that yes, Krishna loves us more than anybody can ever love me. Susamikshamano, the devotee understands that ikshamana means what is happening. Today, Prabhuji is not talking to me so well. Why is it Prabhu didn't talk to me? Is analyzing ikshamana. Susamikshamana means, okay, Prabhu is not talking to me properly today, but last week he talked to me nicely. Since maybe Thursday he didn't talk to me so well, maybe on Wednesday I did something that might have hurt him. So to analyze that situation. And samikshamana means not only what is happening today, what happened because of which it's happening today, but even going back to lifetimes before. And understanding that bhunjana eva atma kritam, that bhunje, like bhunte bhogete chaivan, eating, I am facing this difficulty. Bhunjana eva atma kritam, because of what I have only done, oh Krishna. I have done this. Not that somebody has influenced me to do, or not like in teamwork, I have also done this. It is my own misgivings. In that mood, hridvag vapurbir, when the devotee with his mind, heart and intelligence surrenders still to Krishna, for him, liberation is his birthright. Well, 2 days ago, myself, my mother-in-law were cooking in the kitchen, and my wife and my daughter were not supposed to come to the temple. And it did happen that somehow last minute they came, and then we were cooking, and my wife slipped from the stair and she fractured her toe. And the first thing that she had a conversation with me was that it is Krishna's mercy. Something so much worse was supposed to probably happen, that Krishna brought me here. And in his shelter, he reduced it, and Krishna does. Krishna protects our spiritual life always. And of course, whatever is best for us, we know that Krishna always has this umbrella over our heads. So in that mood, a devotee actually understands that by serving Krishna, Krishna is always with me. And of course, questions to answers that we have in our life, finding true happiness. And so Bhagavad Gita basically talks about the yoga ladder, and Arjuna is personifying what we are going through in our life, and Krishna is delineating the path of different yoga. And ultimately Krishna says that yoginam api sarvesham mat gater antaratmana, of all the different yogis, mat gater antaratmana, one who always thinks of me and worships me with faith is the highest of all, in the personal form of Sri Krishna when we worship the Lord. So we can see this ladder, right? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. It seems like, yeah, a short ladder, karma yoga, jnana yoga, but in reality, the yoga ladder is a very detailed, long, tedious process. From jnana also it takes so long. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti. And to come to jnana, from sakama karma to karma yoga and performing karma yoga, manifesting jnana, understanding this. Of course, Ashtanga is not relevant for this age. And bhakti takes a very long time. So what Krishna says is, come directly to bhakti yoga, which is the essence, which is the ultimate teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, bhaktya mam abhijanati. One can know me as I am by devotion. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam natu gunair. I see only the devotion in the devotee. Man mana baba mad bhakto. Become my devotee, think of me. So in that essence of having bhakti as the center, essence of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam says, does not matter where you are, who you are, how you are, what you have in your heart. Through bhakti, very, very quickly you can attain perfection of this life. Akama, you have no material desires, purified, great. Bhakti is the essence. Sarvakama, all kinds of material desires. Even then, moksha kama, you want to merge into the supreme. Even then, bhakti is the essence. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta puruchappara. By bhakti yoga, one can very quickly get to the process of pure devotion. So we will describe quickly short stories of 3 personalities who personify these 3 aspects. Sarvakama, if you have so many material desires, here is a picture of Ras Khan. If we go to Vrindavan Dham, near Ramanrati, there is a samadhi of Ras Khan. He was a Muslim devotee of the Lord, lived in Agra, fell in love with a girl in Vrindavan. And he would come to try to meet that girl. And what happened? The girl got married. And now he is completely heartbroken. Ek hi thi chali gayi. He came to Vrindavan Dham. He was crying out for her. How will I find her? He would cry on the streets of Vrindavan. He said, I will not leave this place until I find her. And one sadhu came by. He said, why are you crying? He said, the goal of my life has not been attained. I am looking for that person, but I'm not able to find that person. Sadhu said, wow, I wish I had the same faith that you have. I bless you. May you never leave Vrindavan Dham. And by the mercy of that sadhu, very quickly, the desire for material desires went away, and it transformed into attraction to Krishna, and he became mad and in love for Krishna, and he composed so many beautiful poems and was a celebrated devotee there in Vrindavan Dham. The very end of his life, he is composing this verse. He says, Shesha Ganesha Mahesha Dinesha Suresha Su Nahi Nirantara Gave. These great controllers headed by Shesh, Ganesha, Mahesh and others, they are singing the glories of the Supreme Person. Jahi Anadi Ananta Khanda Cheda Veda Subeda Sugave. Vedas are glorifying him as a summum bonum, supreme absolute truth. Narada says Sukha Vyasarate. Great personalities are singing his glories. But here in Vrindavan Dham, Tahi, Ahiraki Chochariya Chachiya Vari Chachpe Nachina Chaye. For half a glass of buttermilk, the gopis of Vrindavan are making Krishna dance. That same Krishna, whose lotus footprints are being searched by the different Vedas. And that Krishna, he glorified, and he said, end of this life, if, oh Krishna, I have to be born as a human again, let me be born as a Brajavasi. If you think I'm to be an animal, let me be a cow that Krishna can herd with his stick and bring me in his fold. But if you think I should be a stone so inert, let me be at the foothill of Giriraj Govardhan. In some way or other, Krishna, please keep me in your warm embrace in Vrindavan Dham. So whatever desires we have, bhakti can very easily purify those desires. What to speak of? Akama. Even if one has moksha kama, desire to worship Krishna in the formless form, Krishna as the impersonal Brahman, which is not advised in the Bhagavad Gita. Still, just by a little bit touch of bhakti, one can be transformed. Here is a sadhu, Madhusudan Saraswati, the leader, the guru of Mayavadis. He had in Varanasi 100,000, like right now we might have probably 20, 30, 40, 50 of us, 100,000 disciples sitting and taking notes. Guru Maharaj, please tell us the form of the formless, the names of the nameless, the attribute of the attributeless. Such discussion is anyway useless for people who are jobless. So he would give a symposium in Varanasi and everybody would take notes. And this would go on year after year after year. And one day, he would explain, Aham Brahmasmi, Tvam Brahmasi, I am Brahman, you are Brahman, all are Brahman, we merge into Brahman, all is one. Where is the rasa there? But when he went to Vrindavan Dham, what happened? He got in touch with the devotees there. A little bit of bhajan he performed in Braj Dham. And when he came back with a new realization. Next year, again they had a mela. All his disciples came and they said, Guru Maharaj, new realization. He said, yes, very good, pen and paper. He said, please tell us about the formless. And there, Madhusudan Saraswati, he says, Vamshi Vibhushita Karanavani Radavan Pitambara Darudabimba Paladharoshtha Punenu Sundara Mukhadara Vindanetra Krishnat Param Tattvam Kimapi Aham Na Jane. He said, now I will tell you, I have realized this, but there's a confusion. Vamshi Vibhushita Karan. Does the flute on the hands of the Supreme Brahman decorate his hands, or does his hands decorate the flute? Is confusion. That I'm not able to figure out. Pitambara Tarudabimba, he's having the beautiful cloth of Pitambara, and his lips are like the freshly cut bimba fruit, the beautiful color of Arunodaya, of the sun rising, and his face is so beautiful. Purnendu Sundara Mukhad. Aravinda Netra, his eyes are like lotus petaled. And that Krishna is that person. When they asked, who is this person? He said, Krishna. Huh? There is nothing more than this to know. There is nothing more than this you can know. And he closed his books. So, even what Krishna describes, avyaktam vyaktimapanam manyante mam abuddhayaha. People who don't have much intelligence think that from the impersonal Brahman, the Lord has appeared. No, Krishna is in his Satchidananda Vigraha, original form, Anadiradi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. And that can be realized even by a minute touch of bhakti. And what can be spoken about? Vaishnavanam yatha shambho, akama, one who has no other material desires than that to just serve the Supreme Lord. We can see here Lord Shiva. Of all the rivers, the most celebrated is Ganga. Of all the personalities, Lord Krishna, and of all the books Bhagavatam, of all the Vaishnavas, is Lord Shiva. When people don't have the Vaishnava understanding, then they glorify Shiva as the supreme absolute Lord. But the Lord, as you can see, Shiva, who is filled with prema rasa in his heart, it actually aches the heart of a devotee when we glorify the devotee without the Lord. So in that mood, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given this very beautiful verse for us to think, chant and meditate, especially because we had Mahashivratri celebrated just a few days ago. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, you can please repeat, Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Maule Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Naradeya Gopishvara Braja Vilasi Yugangri Padme Prema Prayacha Nirupadi Namo Namaste. Oh Lord Shiva, Vrindavanipate, you are the guardian of the Lord's different pastimes. Jaya Soma Soma, all glories to you, all Lord Shiva, who's having a beautiful crescent moon on your matted hair. Great personalities like Sananka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Narada glorify you. Oh Gopeshwara, Vraja Vilasi Yugangri. Yugala, the two Radha Krishna who are enjoying amorous pastimes, prema, in Vrajadham, you have that love for the Lord. Please give me some of that also as your mercy. Namo Namaste, I pay my obeisances to you. So in that mood, one can understand that Lord Shiva is the greatest of all the devotees, and he is always engaged in the service of the Lord. So this is the last slide. We will just go over a few beautiful pastimes of Lord Shiva. Top left, you can see this picture. We were discussing these pastimes a few months back, where we can see Lord Shiva's eyes are so beautiful. Just like Krishna, it's described in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Bhakti Vilochanena. When its eyes are anointed with prema, then you see, and the vision is completely different. Shiva sees everybody with equal vision. And here is a thief that you can see. What did the thief do? This thief was a specialist. Like we have architect, you have analyst, you have a specialist. So this thief was a specialist. And what was he specialized in? In stealing golden bells in temples, selling it and making money. So in the temples in India, generally when you enter, you have a bell, right? You ring the bell and you enter. And he came to a Shiva temple. And there he saw a beautiful Shivalinga in the center. There were so many devotees around. And he looked at the golden bell. It looked gorgeous. And he said, yes, I need to get this bell somehow or the other. At night, he came back again. All the devotees had left. And he said, I cannot basically lean the ladder against the wall because the bell is in the center. So what I'm going to do is there was a Shivalinga right below the bell. He stood up on the Shivalinga and he started stealing the bell. And Lord Shiva immediately appeared. And he said, no, Lord Shiva, I am not stealing the bell. Shiva said, did I ask you? He said, no. He said, Shiva said, okay, calm down. Then what are you doing? He said, actually, it's very complicated. Your devotees are not very clean. They keep coming in crowds and crowds, and there is so much dust on the bell. Nobody to clean the bell. Pujari worships you, but nobody dusts the bell. So I'm actually trying to dust your bell. Shiva says, wow, thank you so much. And he asks, but I have a question for you. And Shiva says, okay, ask. He says, actually, even demons, forget devotees, even demons have to worship you for at least some time. They worship you with water, with milk, with bilva patra, and after some time you appear. But instantly you appeared for me. How is that possible? You're Ashutosha, but you're not Ashutosha. I didn't know you were so merciful. Shiva said, they worship me with so many things. But when I saw you standing on me, you gave your whole body, your whole existence, your whole life to me. Nobody has worshipped me by putting themselves on me. So how else could I have not come and appeared before you? The vision of a pure devotee. Anybody else said when we first heard this story, it feels very offensive. But the eyes of Lord Shiva are tainted with pure love. If he sees like a black cloth with a white spot, he looks at only the white spot. Even Ravana he accepted him as a devotee. If I am trying to comprehend something, Atmavan manyate jagat, what is in me is what I look at things around me. Oh, that person, he's only looking for puja, pratishtha. This person, he's lusty. Even if it is not, because what is in me is what I project. What I project is what I see. What I see is what I speak. What I speak is what enters your ears. And that becomes association. But here is a great devotee of the Lord. It's described. Seeing either a king or a beggar on the street, Lord Shiva does not see any difference. Praja Mahendra Yor, Trinaravinda Chakshushor. Whether Trinaravinda, a person is having a leaf blade like ice. Nobody says, wow, beautiful eyes, Prabhu, like a blade of grass. Trinaravinda, whether a person is so ugly or Chakshusha, beautiful lotus eyes, he sees them with equal vision. And that is Lord Shiva. So, of different descriptions, one of the most prominent, Mahashivratri, it's described as the day when Shiva Parvati got married. And Parvati, of course, is married, and we see that Lord Shiva in the center picture here is sitting below a tree. So imagine you get married, you bring your wife, and she's happy. Okay, where is the house? Tree. You're also devotee, so I got married to you. Tarorapi sahishnuna. You should be as tolerant of a tree, live under a tree, she'll say Hare Krishna. And his wife is Parvati, Durga Devi. She is worshipped by all devotees across the world. Santoshima, Durga, Kali, Vaishnava Devi. And she gives so many material benedictions, she doesn't have a house. And she thinks, what is this? I have Mahesh as my husband. Swayam Mahesha, as you see in the top right picture, the Supreme Lord, Lord Shiva, is Swayam Mahesha Swasaro Nagesha Sakha Dhanesha. His friend is Dhanesha, Kubera, the king of wealth. And Tanayo Ganesha, his son is Ganesha, who removes all obstacles. Tathapi Bhikshathanameva Shambhu. Completely unattached. Still he's happy, just begging a little bit. The mood of the devotee. It's like the Kapoor family, right? If you are in a Kapoor family, your brother-in-law is a producer, another person director, all film stars. Of course, you'll have an aristocratic life. You will have all riches, all fame. This is Shiva, but still, he's so simple, sitting under the tree. So Parvati was like, at least a condo, a studio apartment. Like, where is the kitchen? Right side of the tree. Of course, she's not happy. And Shiva, to please her, he, out of his own mind, he builds a very beautiful palace. And the palace is floating in thin air. It's made of gems, emeralds, gold, rubies, diamonds. And amazing, Parvati is happy. And of course, when you buy a house, what do? Graha Pravesham, right? Invite sadhus, invite friends. And then the sadhus came, did bhajan, took bhojan, and he gave nice dakshina. They were all leaving. And the last sadhu who was there, the Brahman, He said, any dakshina? He looked 3-story. He said, he bought it in Zillow, new construction. He said, yes, new construction. Then what can I give you? He said, the house is very nice. And Shiva said, okay, please take it. He gave it, and then again he came back to the tree. The glories of Lord Shiva. So, and again, what Shiva wears, right? This is beautiful verse. Jatatavi galat jala pravaha pavitastale. And this very beautiful pavitastale, auspicious place, Lord Shiva is sitting in meditation. He's having matted lock of hair. Galevya lamba lambitam bhujanga tunga mallikam. Like the mallika flowers, he has this vicious serpent around him. When we have soap operas, somebody playing as Lord Shiva, it's a fake one. Here it's a real one, vicious snake-like serpent around him. Dhamad, 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 dhaman, ninada, vada, marvayam. He's playing his dhamru and doing Tandava Nritya. And what is Shiva wearing? Barks of trees, the skin of tigers, and has ash from the crematorium all over his body. Why? Just to give mercy. Mercy for the lowest creatures. That is the mood of a devotee. Para dukha dukhi. When others are in distress, when this hobgoblins, ghosts, pichachis, very lowly beings who don't even have a mortal body, Shiva wants to uplift them. And so the first thing he does is that he tries to relate with them. And when they get associated with Shiva, then he elevates them and gives them bodies by which they can gradually elevate themselves. And following his footsteps, Srila Prabhupada, he came to the darkest place of this world at that time, New York City. And when he came, he told the hippies who were there, the first devotees, this place is so dark. They said, Prabhupada, nightlife is good. Come in the night. He said, outside there might be light, inside it's so dark. Then Prabhupada pointed at that and he said, what is this? They said, Prabhupada, pub. He said, what is pub? And they said, Prabhupada, you don't want to know. He said, what? Tell me. And they said, all the 4 regulative principles you talk about, all of the 4 get broken there. Prabhupada said, yes, then let's go there. And when he went there, the first person who greeted Prabhupada gave him a Back to Godhead magazine. And that person not only became a devotee, but became a leader in a movement. That was the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So, again, just like Lord Shiva is such a great devotee, Prabhupada followed in his footsteps. And of course, bottom left, you can see Shiva. He wanted the foot dust of Krishna in Vrindavan. Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dhama. Divya Chintamani Dhama. The dust in Vrindavan is Chintamani. And Lord Shiva manifests even in an inanimate form, like Nandeshwar Parvat in Nandagaon, to take the footprint of Krishna. But when Krishna appeared, Krishna's Arbhakam Arbhutam, his childhood pastimes are so sweet. And to taste those childhood pastimes, to see Krishna, Lord Shiva comes as a sannyasi, as a monk, and he knocks on the door of Yashoda Maiya. Yashoda Maiya opens the door and she sees a monk. And then Yashoda Maiya asks, what do you want, oh Baba? Do you want sweet rice, kheer, sabji, chapati, puri? He says, no, no, no. Maiya, just give me the darshan of your Lala. I just want to see Krishna. And she's thinking, just now, few days back, recently, what happened? Putana came in such a very beautiful form. Yoshitva Maya Atmatam Pravishat Kamacharini. This Kamacharini Putana came like the goddess of fortune, with holding a lotus in her hand. And what she tried to do, she tried to kill my Lala. And I've also heard from Mahabharata, from Ramayana, that to kidnap Sita, Ravan came like a monk. No, no, I cannot do that. I'll give you anything else, but I cannot bring you close to my Lala. And she sends him away. And he has tears of a heavy heart, not being able to see Krishna. And Krishna then starts crying, because if Krishna sees the tears of his devotees, Krishna cannot bear to see that. And she's trying to console Krishna. Krishna is not being consoled. And she tries everything, anything and everything. And finally she realizes that I offended the devotee. With the entourage, she goes and brings Lord Shiva back. And then he gets the association of the Lord. And finally, the last story here, you can see Sanatan Goswami to the left and Lord Shiva there. When there was the Govardhan Leela happening, right? We know the story when Krishna lifted the Govardhan Parvat for 7 days and 7 nights. It was raining, torrential rains, and the environment was getting cold. Right? At home, we can adjust the thermostat, but there you don't have the thermostat to adjust. So what did Krishna do? Krishna called Sudarshan Chakra from Vaikuntha. He said, "Come, and I want your service." Sudarshan from Vaikuntha was very happy. And he said, keep going around this Govardhan Parvat in exactly that much speed to maintain the temperature perfectly ambient, to have the best rasa and pastimes here under Govardhan Hill. And the Sudarshan Chakra was very happy, going in that perfect way to increase the thermostat temperature to the exact ambient level. 7 days got over, Krishna says, okay, Tata, bye-bye, your service done. And Sudarshan is like, what? I did such nice service, I thought you'll give me promotion, you're giving me demotion. You should hire me or firing me. I thought it's green card time. Time to get permanent residency. And Krishna said, okay, then stay in this place. Chakratirtha. This place, Sanatan Goswami used to come, brother of Rupa Goswami. And he used to chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. With so much sweetness that Lord Shiva was so attracted. Shiva also chants the holy names of the Lord all the time. Shri Rama Govinda Mukunda Shaure Shri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva Ityadi Nama Amritapana Mata Bringadipakila Dukkha Hantri. The way Shiva removes all the obstacles, problems in our lives is by chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So when he saw Sanatan there, in the afternoons, he would chant. He told his wife Parvati, actually, I have an in-person meeting. She said, I thought it's all remote on Teams. He said, no, this is in person. So he used to come and chant next to Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami used to chant. They used to have amazing association. And after some time, Sanatan Goswami stopped coming. He asked, what happened? Oh dear, Sanatan Goswami, I want your association. Sanatan said, too many mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are troubling me so much. And he said, Shiva said, don't worry, I'll go to the demigods of mosquitoes. There is a demigod for corona also, I'm sure. Everything that happens is by the will of the Lord. So, and he told him, please, aapka chela ko bolo, is jagah nahi aane ka. So then the mosquitoes stopped coming, and then he used to take association of the devotees, and he's teaching us by his personal example. Association of devotees is so important. Durlabha manusha deha. This human form is very, very rare. Dehinam kshanabhangura. Any second, any instant, anything can happen. Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikunta priyadarshanam. More rare than that is getting association of the devotees of the Lord. In whose association we can progress, we can chant, and we can make our life successful. But we don't want association of devotees. We want to go on the altar. I will trust the deities. The deities won't say anything to me. No feedback. Devotees, I don't even ask, still feedback. All the time they chant Hare Krishna, they find faults only with me. But that is the right medicine for us in this age. So Lord Shiva is also glorified as the perfect servant of the Lord, is the person who protects the dham, and he, as Advaitacharya, you can see the bottom right, he came as Advaitacharya and called out the holy names of the Lord for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to descend in this Kali Yuga, by whose mercy we can chant the holy names. So again, in this mood, we wanted to glorify Lord Shiva, who is personifying the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, which is how to manifest bhakti, devotion in our heart, and how to give mercy to others as well. So again, just wanted to share a few words. Again, as a humble servant, again, please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong. I'll end here. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gandhara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai Lord Shiva ki, Jai.
Question, but thank you very much for amazing class.
Hare Krishna. don't hear anything. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.